Hey Josue, I'm pleased to have you back again. Always a pleasure. I think now we're well known for the orange hat you're wearing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's now my trademark apparently. So it's become my trademark.
So keep it as well as your awesome Sunny Data
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
t-shirt.
That
Yeah,
that is correct. Yeah. No, thank you so much for having this conversation with me, man.
yeah. I mean, when I posted about like on the our on LinkedIn that I'm gonna have a chat with you about serverless workflow, I had a bunch of like messages like, okay, when it's gonna be released and play any insight, like make sure to ask many questions to Josue. I mean, I think you're like
Awesome.
well known now. There is, I mean, we can't miss your post in LinkedIn at all.
Thank you.
Like they're everywhere.
Thank
So awesome job.
thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's again, yeah, it's great to be here, and obviously, you know, I write a lot about Databricks. Sometimes good, sometimes heavy criticism, but like I said before, Databricks, generally speaking, listens to what I have to say, and I appreciate that, which makes me want to help Databricks make a better product. So
It's related to what I've said once that Databricks is built by the customer for the customer
yeah, no,
because
that
they
that
help
makes sense.
shaping the product. We hear the feedback and then they like the product team and the engineering team do their magic and make things happen.
I've criticized different companies in the past. Uh, Databricks is one of the few that publicly taken on the feedback instead of trying to tell me, hey, keep it down. They've said, like, no, when you're writing this stuff, it lets us know how customers are feeling about our product. And if there's something that they're not feeling good about our product, we should make it better. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. Now you got you. I've been following your post for I think for more than a year, and I've seen like how you provided feedback to many PMs. I think I've seen so many posts to Chow. Hi Chow, if you're
Yes.
watching this recording.
Yeah.
Chow to Miranda, the AI/BI team. Discussed about FinOps with Greg. You discussed about AI functions with the Seattle guy.
Oh yeah, with
Uh,
with Ben. Yeah, he's
yeah, with
awesome.
Dan. Uh, like I've seen, like you talked with Jason Macer about notebooks and how they can be improved. So I've seen you almost everywhere. So kudos to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And today let's talk about big our topic. Let's say serverless workflows. And I don't know if you have tried them. Um,
Yes.
well, how was your first, let's say, user journey? Uh, have you noticed any change of behavior?
Yeah. So two pieces to that. So in terms of like the experience with it, I think has overall been good. I haven't had to spend time setting compute up when running a workflow, which feels kind of nice to me. It's a lot less painful to get up and going. Not that the previous way was very painful, but it just a little bit less knobs for me to have to deal with, and I can just work on orchestrating things in itself. So the journey into it has been pretty smooth. In terms of how it's progressed over time, I want to say I haven't seen performance improvements over time. And over time, I mean since I've been running a job every now and then for the last 3 months, and I haven't seen any performance gains. Costs have stayed just the same on those, which that's a good thing. So performance, time to execution has been consistent. Costs have been consistent, so that's good, right? That's on the serverless side. Where I have seen improvements hasn't been so much on serverless jobs, but more on the interactive experience. I think when when it was released, the warm up time was about 30 seconds, I want to say. Then it got down to about 15 seconds. And, I tested it again like 3 weeks ago or so, and it was just like, I think 5 seconds, I want to say, 5, 6 seconds to warm up, which is a pretty great improvement, I would say. So, a lot faster than I expected in interactive workflows to experience. I will say, and perhaps I'm getting ahead of some of the questions you might ask here, is I am looking forward to having the option to optimize for cost as well as optimize for performance because I've seen a mix. I've seen mixed feedback as to people's experiences with the cost tied to serverless jobs. So I think that
Mhm.
will be a good cost control for customers to have.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense because, and I've discussed last time with one of the PMs, and what they have released right now is the as fast as possible, and it's the cost optimize will be here very, very soon. And I think this will be also a game changer because for the cost tracking, what they are working on right now, and again, it's going to also be released, I think, very, very soon. It's called serverless policies, where we can automatically put some tags on the cluster, on the serverless jobs to make sure that we have the right cost attribution. And I don't know if you've seen it, but at the same time, we have built a dashboard called job tracking. You can track the cost of the jobs, not only the serverless one, but also the classic one. It's gonna tell you the most expensive runs because sometimes the job, like workflow, can be cheap, but one run, I don't know, for
Something
some
went
reason,
wrong.
yeah, something went wrong, and then it can go, I don't know, $1,000. So you can see the most expensive runs, you can see the most expensive workflows. So this is awesome because you can go and try to optimize the code just for the most expensive one because this is where you can have the main, let's say, impact. And also you can see the jobs that are running with interactive clusters, and you can fix this and say, okay, I no longer need to use interactive clusters. I can switch to job cluster. It lists the workflows that are not tagged,
Hmm.
which means you need to go and tag them
Yeah.
to have this cost propagation. And I
Yeah.
think this is also something very, very good to be able to track the cost in a, I think, hourly basis. And so I think you want to have a surprise at the end of the month saying, oh, I don't know, I did something wrong here. No, if you put the right guardrails with the system tables, with the serverless policies, with the budget alerting, I think you have all the features to help you have this, maybe this observability on the platform.
And I had that conversation with Greg. That for those who don't know him, he is the money guy in terms
Yeah.
of cost observability with at Databricks. Very awesome guy. Him and I had very good conversation that we recorded and shared, or that's to say, we split it up into a few different videos. And yeah, I think Databricks is on the right path to being able to give that cost visibility. Just getting there is a matter of time. And when you're the customer, that time feels like forever, right? And when you are the one creating the product and modifying the product and building all these features, making sure you're not breaking anything, you feel that pressure, right? But going back to policies, which um, I got a little bit of sneak peek at that, and I'm excited to see the direction that they're going to go with it. I think it's a matter of would you rather wait for the perfect solution to be here, or would you rather start getting some value out of it immediately? And I think the ability to force tags is going to be a very important thing, just honestly to help educate customers around topics such as FinOps. Because at the end of the day, a lot of customers just think of how much am I paying. They don't stop and think, where is the money that I'm paying going to? What's costing me money? And really, I think that's a problem that you really experience with any cloud provider. And if Databricks is able to kind of push that education to the customers, I think it's going to lead to happier customers with the platform, lead to less attrition of customers, and honestly, be a very valuable selling tool when you're out there prospecting against some of your competitors. And you can say, "Hey, do our competitors have these tools that help you track your costs, that help you allocate your costs? Have they taught you how to use it?" And I think those are some of the areas that Databricks really has a good potential to become known as the company that is truly working to help you deliver the best total cost of ownership. And I think it comes with giving a powerful platform and giving the right controls and giving the right education to customers so that they feel like they're getting that whole package, and that they feel that they are really in control of their bill instead of thinking, hey, here's my credit card and just gonna run it as much as you want, right? No one wants to do it. I would not give you my credit card and be like, hey, here goes. I trust you. So I think again, that's an area that the more cost controls and cost awareness that Databricks builds into the platform in a way that kind of helps us a forceful education, that's just going to be very impactful for Databricks and its customers. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was a
exactly.
lengthy
Yeah.
answer.
No, but that makes sense. I mean, who's better than Databricks to monitor Databricks costs? I think
That
it's
is correct. Yeah, and it's and I think there's a few different angles here, right? I think that that leaves the space for niche solutions outside of Databricks that can connect Databricks cost ultimately to companies' bottom lines, which, because Databricks is going to try to keep the scope within everything that directly affects Databricks. So then the next step for other companies doing their own built in reporting or organizations that help build reporting is how do they connect your cloud cost to their P&L, to their general ledger? How does this happen, right? And I think that's a good niche that I don't think that there's a few companies that I think are tackling that's going to be very complementary to the work that Databricks is doing. But if your business model is just doing just cost reporting, you know, on Databricks cost, uh, that's not going to survive well.
Mhm. And the project that excites me the most is so they're working on Genie, so it's on improvement right now to make sure that you can use Genie with system tables to
You
ask
mean AI
questions.
BI Genie too?
AI, hi, sorry, ciao. Yes, AI. Yes, AI, BI, Genie, because with system tables, uh, to be honest, it's sometimes I try to be in the shoes of like a product manager at Databricks, and it's so hard because, as you know, system tables are shared using delta sharing, and in delta sharing, just I think 6 months ago we couldn't share metadata. Now it's possible. We can share primary key, foreign key, comments, which means now we are able to share the comments from system tables and add some comments on the tables we have within system tables, and those comments
Sounds.
are going to be
I
very,
love
very
my
important.
comments.
Yeah, and this one can be very useful because Genie cannot access the data within your tables, but it can understand the comments, and based on those comments, then you can ask questions like, I don't know, last month for model surveying, how many DBUs did I consume? And now
Hmm.
it knows that, okay, the different SKUs are in this specific column. So, and this is how I can query it. This is the filter I should do, like go to select star from, I don't know, count from, I don't know, table usage, and then filter by SKU. model serving or model server like model serving, and it's going to you will have the answer. So it's really not only democratic, not only making like the tracking of the cost easily, but you can also use Genie to ask those kind of questions if the dashboard that we are sharing with you or the dashboard you have customized is not good enough, or you still need to have some niche question to ask.
Yeah, and I love that. I think yeah, because I think the just giving customers here's the system stables, have fun, that can be a little bit overwhelming for those that are not very familiar with those system tables, right? And ultimately, you're trying as a company, you're trying to make things easier for your customers. So if you're saying, hey, you guys have to explore a lot of this stuff, uh, that means you're taking away from your customers spending time on their data and instead spending the time on understanding your platform, which I don't think you want to be that. You want to make things as seamless as possible for customers to focus on what really drives value to their business. Okay, so going back to one of the things that I had actually written about some time ago was just around this, right? Like help customers focus on their data, not understanding the systems that you have, because Databricks knows this data very well. You probably have SAs that have built this and solutions engineers that have built this tables and reporting over and over again. So why not share some of that with customers? So I'm glad that that's the direction that Databricks is going with. Just hey, just ask the question through AI/BI. So Genie
Yeah.
2.0.
And yeah, so so this is something they are working on. It's not there yet, but you can customize it if you want. Like you can go to
Yeah,
instructions and give some details to help Genie understand those tables. So you can do it on your own right now,
yeah,
or wait quite some time before having something maybe similar. And
yeah,
also some like you mentioned, like sharing like on the shelf dashboard. So that's now we have the if you go to the budget tracking, you can see like you can click on a button that automatically deploy a dashboard for you, as I mentioned, like to track the costs. And now we are
yeah,
building, as I mentioned, like job dashboard already available in GitHub. So I think they will find a way to add it in the UI. And I think they are building more and more dashboards. But there is something cool. Like I've seen some customers using system tables to track the tables that are updated but not used. And then based on this, they can track the jobs that update those tables and see maybe some I don't know how to say this, but phantom jobs, jobs that
yeah.
are not doing anything but just
Just stop
running
it and see
because
if anyone notices that this the
yeah,
data is gone.
exactly. And then you can just stop those jobs, and based on the job ID and the usage, you can track the cost, and then you can see how many DBUs or how many money you did save because of those system tables. So that's the beauty of Databricks. You have something built on the shelf for you, or if you want to build some custom stuff based on those tables, you can do like a lot of interesting things. And this example was really amazing. I've seen like people doing some cool stuff like, okay, how many tables were built, I don't know, last week, the size, and we have a bunch of other system tables coming like model serving and others that I think will be unveiled within next quarter. So the goal is really to have everything monitored through the our system tables.
No, this is exciting. I'm sure our customers too at Cathedral Labs too. I think they're gonna appreciate that too. So
Yeah. And one more thing, have you tried the no, I think it's the same thing. I was about to talk about DLT serverless, but technically the same thing. So there is no
I don't think you want me talking about DLTs. Okay, so it's okay. We can talk about it. DLT serverless. It seems to work well, which is a good thing. The concept works well. DLTs are still broken, in my opinion, and by broken I mean, just for clarity, they're not a good option for batch work that requires mid level of complexity or higher. Uh, they are very difficult to develop with, and the documentation is not so great. But that said, using DLT serverless, at least the compute part feels nice and simple, which I appreciate that.
Just to like to reply what you said. So this is my point of view regarding DLT. So the we we had some ideas and they have been developed in such way, but now they are fixing, let's say, some issues with by, let's say, building a unified experience, like with these streaming tables and materialized views and unifying this, because you had like a lot of keywords. Now the goal is really to have just two keywords. If you want to ingest data, streaming table. If you want to update stuff, then you have materialized views, and with this enzyme, this incremental, just modifying some incremental rather than doing a full recompute, it's gonna be, let's say, amazing. And then just something, because in the past you have some like live keyword, you need to add live keyword.
Yes.
Now we are getting rid of this and we are having something called direct publish mode, which means you can select the catalog and the schema where you can write the data, because in the past you were obliged to stay within one schema. Now
Yes.
things are changing, so we're really removing all those
Pain
limitations. And
points.
same thing for the dev experience. Like in the dev experience, you needed to run the pipeline on dev mode and then run it, wait for, and we know it was a little bit hard. So then they fixed this, and now you can test the pipeline within DLT. If you are writing, for example, with SQL, you can
Yeah. The
validate it,
validation
and then it
yeah,
tell you
inside. Yeah.
exactly, and then you can publish it straight from the validation to create a pipeline from the UI. So we're really fixing all those tiny pain points. And just for information, like most of the systems, like tools we are using, are basically backed by DLT. If you can think about delta, system tables, mainly it's delta live tables that are behind scenes. If you could think about, I don't know, materialized views, this is DLT. If you're talking about how do you call it, vector search, when you do the ingestion, again, it's DLT. If you talk about Lakeflow, the connectors you're gonna have, it's DLT. So all everything like the Databricks is using is backed by DLT. So this is a product, I think, that Databricks believe a lot on it. And for those who haven't watched the talk yet, we had an awesome talk with Armburst, I think a few weeks ago, where he talks about the future of DLT and where we're going. And he talks a bit about the points that Josue mentioned.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I've heard the name so many times. I know who he is. I've actually never gotten to meet him. He's like one of the guys that I know is always just heads down building stuff. But maybe someday I'll actually get to meet him. Which,
Next
by the
Data and AI
way,
Summit.
yes, exactly. Hopefully, yep. I was gonna say, okay, so going back, at the beginning you said, oh, how my content has grown and all that fun stuff. Your channel and everything you're doing has grown too. I mean, you've had uh, with Amherst, I think you've chatted with Reynold too, right?
Yeah.
You've also done Mate,
Yes.
who, by the way, he still has never accepted my LinkedIn request and feels a little personal, but that's okay. Uh, Probably for his sanity. It's a really good thing that I haven't that he hasn't accepted it. And I mean, you have the one upcoming with Adam, and it's on in December, right? Which I don't know if it's something you're publicly listing out yet, but I know
No,
that's
not
coming. So
yet. Not yet.
okay,
Not
okay.
yet.
But the point is, you have more than a few of them that I think are very high profile. So congratulations on that part too, man.
No, to be honest, we're really just trying to. So the goal of Databricks is democratizing access to data and AI. My goal is really democratizing access to Databricks, like point of view or vision to everyone, because I've had this chance, because I work for the company, to to um to be amazed by these folks, like who are shaping the future of Databricks what the customers are representing, and I want to just share their vision with the folks. Say, okay, you can now have the opportunity to ask questions about some stuff and like be connect, like feeling connected with those brilliant minds. And that was the, and that, to be honest, if you have told me like 1 year ago that maybe I would have interviewed Matei, Reynolds, or I don't know, having PMs, it would have been, I would have told you, no, it's impossible, you know. So I'm really happy to be here and having this chance to talk not only with Breaksters, but we're opening to other non-Databricks folks like you, Josue, but we talk also with many partners with I think DBT, we did Salesforce, Rivery, and a bunch of other partners. So the goal is really to democratize, say, hey, listen, you can use Databricks, but you can use also other tools within, not only with Databricks, but other tools that can interconnect. And the goal is really to make sure you're getting the value from your data, and that's really the most important thing.
Oh, that makes sense, man.
So tell me,
So when are you interviewing Ali? That is the question.
Good question. I don't know. Let's see what the future is holding for us. But I have one question for you. If you had maybe one tiny thing to modify in the platform, what would you prefer to have? Something you think may be missing or maybe need to be improved a little bit?
Besides DLTs, uh, I'm hoping that AI BI dashboards continues to grow. Uh, At first, I don't think I was very convinced that it had really a future, to be honest. But just given how the data landscape has played out, especially like, with Power BI doing, you know, Microsoft doing Fabric, leveraging Power BI, and then trying to bundle all this other stuff into on the data engineering side, I think it makes sense as a move for Databricks to have a strong dashboarding experience. And I think that right now you have the basics right now, but taking it to the next level when you're competing against so many other companies that do a very good job with it too, such as Power BI, Sigma, and I'll even say Tableau. I'm not a fan of Tableau, but still it's in a better place than compared to AI BI dashboards. So I'm excited to see what the future holds on
Mm.
those regards, and I'm hoping that Databricks invest in making those better, and I would say making sure that it tailors that experience, not with a mindset of we're doing this for data engineers, but doing it for the BI developers that are not used to some of these data engineering tools, because those are the ones that are going to really embrace it if the development experience is awesome. And I think the text to chart, or however it's called, I think they do a very good job. I think the team does a very good job with using that feature, which I think is hopefully gonna enable adoption. And the other point with that is how can you build a data modeling experience inside of AI BI dashboards that just works well with everything else in Databricks too. I will say one more thing that I'm excited to see is Lakeflow. I'm excited to see how Lakeflow plays out and seeing if, especially how it plays with DLTs, and how if at all is able to simplify the the development experience, especially Lakeflow Transform, which I'll be part of this technical council on Lakeflow.
Mm.
So I'm excited for that to help with that part. But I'm excited and eager just to see how it helps drive adoption, especially from those individuals coming from like an analytics background that are not data engineers. So let's see how that plays out.
I think Bilal Aslam will answer this question maybe next month. We're gonna interview him about Lakeflow and the
Yeah,
future of Lakeflow, and
yeah,
where he gonna talk about the upcoming connectors we're gonna have, how potentially they have been implemented, how they're gonna work, and what's the future of this new, let's say, features within the platform.
I feel bad for Bilal. I'm always bugging him all the time with stuff.
I think it's always interesting to have those kind of feedback from the customers to make sure that we are building the best product.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Josue. It was a real pleasure to have you again.
Thank you so very much, man. Appreciate you having me here.